Hey, everybody. Hope you're all well. I'm trying to mute everyone just because there's a bit of feedback. So if you can mute yourself, that would be great. I'm trying to mute everyone. Not like I don't want to hear you, but it's better for sound if you guys are all muted. So if you can pop yourself on mute, that would be brilliant. We're just getting everybody admitted in. There should be some music here, so give me a second. Can you hear me okay? I'm just going to open the chat. If somebody could comment in the chat and just let me know if you can hear me. And can you hear me? That's probably, if you can't hear me. Yes, thank you, Anne. Thank you, Carla. Amazing. We've just got a few more people that are logging in. We're expecting about 60 people tonight. So we're just gonna wait until everybody's in before we get this show on the road. So hang fire, sit tight, and then we'll be starting in just a few minutes. Blackcurrant squash, Anne. Okay, we'll give it one more minute and then we will get this show on the road. All right, let's get cracking. Let's get cracking. So firstly, I just want to say good evening, and welcome to Miles's, I was going to say Miles's Morning Motivation. Good evening and welcome to Miles More Motivation, the coaching program. This has been a life's work putting this together, and I'm really honored that you're here. I'm just going to admit someone else in. I'm really honored that you're here to test this program for me tonight. Your feedback is going to be really vital in letting me know what changes need to be made and how to refine and go. I could have waited months to roll this out, but one of my mentors said, always remember, Miles, 7 out of 10 is your new perfect. And I'll never forget that, because what that ultimately means is, you know, any dream, any goal, anything that you've ever wanted to do, You can plan and you can refine, but at the end of the day, eventually the best way for you to know if it's good enough is to launch out into the world. And so for me, I recognize that, you know, as the saying goes, if you never heard this before, imperfect action truly does beat perfect inaction. The person who's on the start line waiting to go is behind the person who's already just started running, right? So imperfect action is what is the name of the game with this coaching program. So as we move into the session, here's kind of an overview of the program and really an overview of what we're going to be covering tonight. So the program, full disclosure, is a 12-month program, and you're tonight going to be dipping into what is effectively month one of the program. So month one of the program is all about achievement. I'm a big believer that you know, sort of success without fulfillment is failure. I'm going to share that slide with you shortly. That's a Tony Robbins phrase. I can't claim that. That's not mine. That's Tony Robbins's. But I'm a big believer in that there's a way of achieving and there's a way of not achieving. Tonight's really good evening, Luke Biddle. Hope you're well. Tonight is going to be, in fact, before we get started, I'm going to say hello to everyone who is here. So let me just check who is in the house. Anne Larkey's here. Good evening, Anne. Thank you for joining us. I'm honored that you're here. Carla's here. Hello, Carla. Hope you're well. Chloe Wadsworth is here. Dana's here. David McGee's here. Jamie Selby is here. One of my coaching clients, Jamie. Yevgeny is here. Hey, brother. Lisa King is here. Hey, Lisa. Hope you're well. That was a hey, Lisa. Luke Biddle's here. Hey, brother. Hope you're well. Michelle's here. Ryan LeBreton is here. Sarah Chance is here. I'm glad you managed to get in, Sarah. Sarah Mobbs is here. Glad you managed to get the childcare sorted out, Sarah. Sean Moore is here. Tom Fox is here. Hey, Tom. Hope you're well, brother. And the lovely Trudy Seeley is here. Hope you guys are all well. I'm truly honored that you guys have made it tonight. So where was I? So month one is all about achievement. We call this the Achievement Accelerator. So you're going to be getting this tonight and also in a couple of weeks. Month two is about clarity. It's all well and good setting out to achieve things, but unless you're crystal clear on what it is you want, then that can be a problem. Because how many times in life, maybe you can relate, I know I can attest to this, where you've attempted to achieve something and then you've got it and you've realized that's not what you really want. So clarity of what it is you truly want, what happens in month two. Month three is all about motivation. You know, that's like my favorite word, right? Motivation. A lot of people give the word motivation a bad rap, but if you analyze the word, motivation just means what is your motive to take action. It's really important that you have the right motive. Don't have the right motive to take action. Month four is about energy, because the energy generator, so many people are struggling with their health, struggling with energy. A lot of people think that it's just a case of just lifting weights in the gym or eating broccoli and chicken. That's not what I mean by energy. So we're going to talk about energy. A lot of people often say to me, Miles, how is it that you have such amazing energy? Are you like that on camera? And then do you just kind of curl up in a ball and go to sleep after? No, I'm pretty much like this all the time. I'm not kidding. Like, because there's certain things that I do, there's certain rituals that I do to put myself in this peak state. And I'm going to share some of those with you in the program. Month four, I can't count. Month five, psychology, the powerful psychology. I always say your mind is like a computer. And often in life, we get viruses like a computer does. It's important that we upgrade our psychology. And month six is about relationships. We call this the ultimate relationship formula. Your life is defined by the relationships that you have. You know, your life, you're effectively the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you spend time with 5 negative people, you're going to become negative. Spend time with 5 really positive people, you'll be positive. Spend time with 5 idiots, you get the gist, right? So that is month 6. As we move on, we've got a glitchy slide. There we go. Thank you, slides. Month 7 is about habits. We call this the elite performance habits. It's really important that you have the right habits. So many people that I know are trying to be successful, trying to achieve more, trying to be happier, healthier, but their habits are wrong. So in month 7, we talk about habits. Month 8, we talk about productivity. Month 9, we talk about influence and how you can communicate more effectively to influence your colleagues, your peers, to get more clients, whatever that looks like, your kids, whatever that looks like for you. The following month, month 10, is that yet? Purpose, we talk about life design. Ruth Pearson is here. Good evening, Ruth. I'm just going to admit you in. Hello, Ruth. Also hello to Ruth. Hi, Ruth. Thanks for joining us. Month 11 is about confidence. Obviously, confidence is something that a lot of people have challenges with. So we spend a whole month working on confidence. And then month 12 is planning. We call this the ultimate planning system. And it's about putting it all together, making sure you have the perfect plan so that you can achieve whatever it is that you ultimately want. So that's what the program effectively looks like as an overarching view. So that's what each session has its own worksheet, and I'll be talking more about the program later on this evening. So moving forward. So tonight we're going to be looking at specifically achievement, and we're going to work on the 5x5 achievement multiplier method. If you haven't already got the worksheet, don't worry, I can resend it to you. If you have got the worksheet, that's great. Follow along with that. But don't worry, the main thing is if you haven't got the worksheet, if you've got shit, I didn't download it or I didn't see it, as long as you've got a pen, a notepad, or your phone to hand, then that will do. What I will say though is if you're going to have your phone to hand, then I would strongly recommend you put it in offline mode for the purpose of this session. I'm massively respectful of time. I feel time is way more valuable than money. And the fact that you've invested time, that you've trusted me to help you for this next hour and a half, I would say commit, be fully present, and you're going to get way more out of this session. You're going to get what you put into this session. It's really important. Shameless plug, tonight and Miles's Morning Motivation Coaching Program is sponsored by Medical Relief International. I'm just going to check the chat just to check everything's all good. Tom says, David looks seriously intense. Sarah says, printed the sheet and it's on my laptop, ready to roll. Phone's in another room, winning. Good on you, Sarah Mobbs. You're a legend. You're a legend. So the program is sponsored by Medical Relief International. Medical Relief International provide medical aid in the third world. They do some great work in Jordan. They do some great work in Jerusalem. You'll see on the right a new water project that they've been working on in Sri Lanka. That's now been finished. So I'll talk later about how the program that I'm launching is sort of a percentage of your subscription is going to go towards helping Medical Relief International, which I'm really proud of. It's why I'm wearing the t-shirts. I'm literally wearing these t-shirts all the time now. It's really important for me that business is not just about what I can get, it's about what I can give. So that's really close to my heart. So I wanted to kind of tell you a bit about that. But now we're really going to get into the content. I'm having a little bit of an issue with the slides. So just so you know, mark this date for your diary, because some people have said, is there 2 sessions? Is this the same in 2 weeks' time? No, it isn't. Wednesday, March the 18th is a completely different session. We are going to be working on achievement as well, but it is a completely different session. Later on, I'm going to be talking to you about what we're covering, but make sure you've got Wednesday, March the 18th, 2 weeks today. We will be online again. You are getting 2 sessions as my beautiful beta testers. So make sure you've got that in the diary as well. So question I want to ask you is, why are you here? So I know that the surface level reason why you're here is like, oh, Miles, we want to support you. You're a good guy. We like you, or, we know you, or maybe you're a neighbor, or we just like what you're about, right? But what I want to make sure is that you're here for you. And I want to kind of presuppose, because, there are thousands of people on my social media, and yet you're here and they're not. And yet they were invited to be here as well, and they're not here and you are. So what I want to kind of maybe do a little bit of a mind read here as to why you're here. Now, I'm going to assume that maybe you're here because right now life for you is not exactly the way you want it to be. Maybe you're here right now because maybe you're not as happy as you want to be. Maybe you're here right now because you don't feel as motivated as you want to be. Maybe you're here right now because your health is not the way you want it to be. Maybe you're here because you're uncertain about your next move in life. Maybe you're here because you've heard about life coaching and you're just curious. Maybe you're here because you just are in a bit of a funk and you don't really know what to do to get out of it. You watch motivational videos on YouTube and that's not working. Maybe you listen to podcasts and read books, but that's not working. And you want to go deeper on yourself. You want to go deeper on your emotions. You really want to get to the root of what you're about and just feel better about yourself. I'm going to assume that something in there fits you. Maybe it's not exactly, but something in there fits where you are right now. So if something like that is where you are right now, good evening, Rachel, good evening, Andy, hope you guys are well, then I'm going to assume that where you want to be is in a place where you wake up every day feeling motivated. You wake up every day feeling happy. You wake up every day feeling energized. You wake up every day feeling like you're going on your dream location holiday. You wake up every day feeling like it's Christmas morning. I'm going to assume that right now you don't always feel like that. And what I want to do throughout the course of tonight and through the course of this program is to help you to see that there is a better way. There is a way where you can wake up feeling incredible every single day. There is a way where you can wake up feeling confident every single day. There is a way where you can have absolute clarity of who you are, what you're about. There is a way for you to have more influence over the people in your life. There is a way for you to have to make more money, to have better health, to grow your business in a way that serves you and serves other people. There is a way for you to ultimately fulfill your dreams. And what I'm going to teach you through the course of tonight is a way that is effectively really common sense, but isn't necessarily common practice, as a way to get there. So that's just kind of a bit of a mind read. You may go, Miles, I didn't quite fit with all that, but I'm going to assume that something in your life is not quite perfect, otherwise you wouldn't be here. So the subject that we're going to be here to talk about, the subject that we're working on tonight, is coaching. What we're effectively doing tonight is lifestyle performance coaching. And I'm here to tell you that coaching, for me, is the fastest way for you to achieve everything that you want. Coaching has been around for thousands of years. Although the buzzword life coaching has been around for 30, 40 years. Coaching has been around in sport. Mentoring has been around for hundreds of years, and it isn't going anywhere. And I'm here to tell you that most of the highest achievers in the world all have a coach. You know, some of the most successful sports people in the world, Cristiano Ronaldo here, says that Alex Ferguson, his former manager at Manchester United, was one of the key, was effectively his key driver that helped him raise his standards to get to a point now where he is undoubtedly the best footballer, you know, maybe ever in the world. That football fans debate that. But the point is, he's achieved the top of his field, and he's done so by having a great coach and a great mentor. So I'm here to say that if it's good enough for somebody like Ronaldo, then why shouldn't we be looking to have coaching in our personal lives? Yeah, but Miles, I'm not looking to be the best in the world at football. I go, no, but I'm assuming that the reason why you're here is because you are looking to become better in your own life. Somebody earlier said to me that, you know, they find themselves comparing themselves to other people a lot. And I said, it's always you versus you, right? So I'm assuming that ultimately you want to be better than the you that existed yesterday, right? I've got my vision board here, and at the top of my vision board says, stay in your lane. That's one of the best pieces of advice I've ever been given, which is stay in your lane, which means compare yourself to yourself and nothing else. Now, why now, right? You may go, okay, cool, I get it, coaching, but why should I be considering this now? Well, I'm going to assume that in the past year or the past few years, you've maybe bought a new car, you've been on a holiday, or you've got a new job, or you've upgraded your job, or you bought a new mobile phone, you've upgraded your phone. All of those things are things that, you know, most people say are musts, right? New phone, it's a must. Holiday, it's a must. But yet the reason ultimately why people want those things, the reason why people want a new car, want a holiday, want a mobile phone, is because when you look at it at the highest level, the reason why people want those things is to feel good, right? The reason why people want those things, the reason why people want more money is they think it's going to give them a feeling. They think it's going to make them happier. And I'm here to tell you that the only thing that's going to truly make you happy is your emotional development of yourself. And that for me has come through great life coaching. And it's a lot cheaper as well. So the problem that a lot of people are facing is they're going outside of themselves to find happiness when happiness is an inside job. You've probably heard that before. So this is a problem, right? This is a problem we've got to fix. In fact, I've already shamelessly plugged Tony Robbins once already. I'll probably do it a lot through the session. He's a huge influence on me. So success without fulfillment is ultimate failure, right? Success without fulfillment, ultimate failure. You know, how many times have you heard people that, you know, achieve a great thing? Maybe you can relate. Have you ever achieved something in your life and then at the end of it gone, oh, is that it? I know I have. So it's really important that you know that this program is about succeeding and is about fulfillment. There's absolutely no point succeeding, but then being like, well, is that it? This program is not about just making more money. This program is not even just about improving your physical body, getting a six-pack. That's your goal. This is not what this is about. This is about an inside-out experience to make you the best version that you can possibly be. Now, before we get into the session, I want to kind of tell you a little bit about me, because there's a lot of people on the session that know me really well. There's a lot of people on the session that don't know me well. So if you'd have been with me 7 years ago, you'd have found me sleeping in the back of my friend's gym in East London. I was technically homeless. Don't feel sorry for me too much, because I wasn't living on the street, but I'd broken up with a then girlfriend in Southampton, and I was living on a friend's sofa, this actual sofa bed, in the back of his gym in East London. It wasn't the worst place, but it wasn't the best place. And life for me was a little bit tricky at the time. Now, I got to a point where I had a conversation with a really good friend of mine that was a member of the gym. We became really good friends. And I told him about my journey, and I told him about my dreams of yesteryear and my aspirations to be the next Tony Robbins, although I should be now saying the next Miles Grant, because I've just told you to stay in your lane. But at the time, it was definitely to be the next Tony Robbins. And he said to me, "So what happened?" I said, "Well, I just lost my way and life dealt me a bad hand." And he said, "That doesn't sound like a person that buys into personal development. I thought the whole point of personal development is to believe that everything is your fault and everything is your responsibility. And if you take full control of yourself, then you can make anything happen." He was like, "Well, that's at least what the video said that I watched just this morning." And so it was a wake-up call for me, because it made me realize that I'd kind of been playing the victim. And so I made some changes. I got back into personal development. I started listening to audios and listening to podcasts again, and eventually started to get myself back on my feet. I launched a business. I launched a sales training business. I made out like I was some big shot sales trainer who was doing really well. I was actually living in the back of a gym in East London. But as a result of launching that sales training business, I actually landed a pretty major client. I launched my sales training business, which still exists today, which is called Miles More Members. Miles More Members, within 3 months of that conversation, I landed a client, which is Easy Gym, as you can see on that slide there. And they paid me £10,000 for a particular piece of work. But it's really funny, because I'll never forget getting that money and still feeling unhappy. And the reason was because I'd not done the work on myself. So I'd got success now, but I didn't have fulfillment, because I'd not been practicing what I preach on the inside. And that's what I mean by success without fulfillment is ultimate failure. Fast forward a year, I'd met my beautiful now wife, Sati, and she definitely has been the best life coach that I could ever possibly imagine. We married 4 years ago in Las Vegas. So life is definitely very different for me now. But it all started with me starting to apply some of the things that I'm going to be teaching you tonight, and really apply what I'm sharing with you over the course of the 12 months. Just 6 months ago, after a couple of false starts, a couple of miscarriages, we had our beautiful baby daughter, Sage, who is an absolute blessing. She never stops smiling. She's amazing. For me, this number is really important to me. This is the amount of days in a month that I work. Now, this is not me bragging. I'm not telling you this to impress you. I'm telling you this because I made the decision. My mum was a hardworking single mum. I made the decision that when we have a child, I don't want to be missing the school run. I don't want to be missing the first steps. I don't want to be missing the first crawls. And I made the decision that I was going to create a business that would allow me to be fully present. And so again, like I say, this is not a brag. This is me telling me that you've got to decide what it is that you want for your life. And for me, life coaching is a great way. It's the only way for you to really figure it out what it is that your next move is. My work now is very different. I get to do some groovy stuff. My Facebook Live videos that I've been doing over the past few years, recently calculated, we've had 250,000 views on those. I recently ran an event. We had about 300 people in the room in London. I've been blessed. Tony Robbins is a mentor of mine. I've been blessed to get to deliver his content. So if you're not familiar with Tony Robbins, he's perceived as the world's #1 life coach. Clients include people like Bill Clinton and Serena Williams. They're not my clients, they're his clients. But I get to now deliver his content, which is really like mind-blowingly cool. I recently ran a mastermind, which was 12 people around the table. Each person paid £1,000 a seat. So that was for 2 days, which is just, again, mind-blowing from where I was just 7 years ago, sleeping on a mattress. So some really big things. And for me, like I said, this is not a brag. This is me just telling you You go, well, how have you done all this stuff? Well, this is ultimately from having life coaching, and this is what this program is ultimately all about. David McGee, who is on the session, he'll probably be willing to testify to this, once said, David's a great friend, and said that Miles is as inspirational to me as Tony Robbins. I'm honored. David, I still owe you the payment for you honoring me with that statement. I'm truly honored. So what I will say here is make sure you stay to the end, because there's going to be some bonuses right at the end. So make sure you stay right until the end for the session, but we're going to dive into it now. What I will say is at the end of the session, with your permission, and I would genuinely love it, it'd be really great if you commented in the chat to let me know. At the end, I will tell you what's next, like how, you know, because some of you said, okay, I get this is the beta thing, but what happens after? With your permission, if you could let me know in the chat if that's appropriate, I'd love to kind of tell you what it looks like to work with me beyond this program. There is going to be an early adopter rate. I think when I put this email out to ask for beta testers, I think I got something like 365 people that opted into the list. So this early adopter offer will go. That's genuinely authentic, will go. So with your permission, if you can let me know in the chat, yeah, that's cool. A few minutes, I will pitch to you, and I'll explain to you what the next stage is at the end. So let's get into content. Make sure you've got your notepad. Thank you for that. That's great. We've had, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You can pitch. That's great. Amazing. Thank you. I'm really grateful for that. So we're going to teach you tonight the 5x5 achievement multiplier method. If you've got the handout, have that now ready, and we're going to dive in and work through this process. So you know the model, you've seen the model. We're working on month 1 today, which is the achievement accelerator. In this session, I'm just going to move my face there. You're going to discover how to achieve more in less time, how to achieve more with less effort, what the top 1% of high achievers do different, how to enjoy the process of achievement more, and how to happily achieve, not achieve to be happy. Such a big one, that last one for me. I used to be like, I'll be happy when? Like, when I've achieved this, when I'm making this much money, then I'll be happy. Like, and it sounds stupid, but I'm sure maybe you can relate to that. Maybe you're like, yeah, I'll be happy when I've got this. When we're there, when we're on that holiday, then I'll be happy, right? Well, what I'm going to teach you in the session tonight is how to happily achieve, not wait till you've achieved to be happy. So let's get into it, shall we? So what we're going to look at in this session, we're going to look at 5 elements. We're going to look at the 5 whys, standard elevators, cheat codes, black belt habits, and we're going to look at gold stars as well. So step number 1 is what we call the 5 whys. So step number 1 is what we call the 5 whys. So like I said, make sure you've got a notepad or the worksheet to hand, because you're going to actually be doing the work. I'm actually going to be coaching you, so you're going to want to take notes as we go. So first principle to kind of get out of the way before we dive into this is, when your why is big enough, you'll find your how. Great friend of mine recently and I had a conversation, and he was talking about wanting to make a sort of a new career move. And his recurring theme in the conversation was, Miles, but I don't know how to do that. Or I don't know how to get to there, or I don't know how to make that happen. And one of the key things I said to him was, stealing this quote, I said, you know, do you want to know what your problem is? Because he was asking for me to get, he gave me permission to tell him what his problem was. And he said, yes, please. That's why I brought you out here for bottomless Coke. He said, it genuinely was bottomless Coke. It's a scary thing, by the way, because literally you're buzzing. If you've ever done bottomless Coke, comment in the chat box, bottomless Coke. I love it. I can't believe we're talking about bottomless Coke on this coaching class. Got to have fun, right? Got to have fun. So I said to him, your biggest problem is, and he won't mind me saying his name, your biggest problem, Jack, is you don't know your why. Like you don't know your why, or your why's not big enough. So it's really important that you think about your why before you think about your how. You see, at school, they're very much about how to get good grades, how to do this, how to pass this test. When I'm a big believer, I talk about motivation. The reason why the show is called Miles More Motivation, or Miles' Morning Motivation, is because I'm a massive believer in the word motivation. Because like I said, motivation just means, what is your motive? And the word motive just means why. If you look at the dictionary definition of the word motive, it just means why. Like, why do you want to do something? So you need to be clear on the reason why you want to achieve a goal. Any goal in your life that you've ever said, I want to achieve this, and you haven't achieved it, I guarantee it's because, unless there's been some logistical issue or a health, something's got in the way that genuinely was out of your control. If you said, I'm going to lose this weight by this date and you haven't done it, your why wasn't big enough. You didn't have a big enough reason why to do it. You know, I said to a client yesterday, I said, if I held a gun to your head and said you had to make a decision on this thing that you're procrastinating on making a decision on, what would be your decision? And he went, I do this. I said, there you go. There's your decision. He went, it's not that easy. I went, it is that easy. Because the why then, gun to head, makes him go, shit, I got to make a decision. So most people don't put pressure on themselves to think about, or they don't give themselves the time or the air to think, why do I want this goal? And that's what's really important. That's what we're going to do here right now. So for me, a big why, just to kind of share with you, I'm going to share with you some personal stories, anecdotes to help really amplify these points with you tonight. About 9 years ago, I had horrendous eczema. I've had it since I was a kid. I don't have it anymore, but 9 years ago, I had horrendous eczema. And for me, I'd lived with the eczema for years, like literally just kind of almost like we got so used to wearing creams and scratching all night, and it was pretty bad, right? And it got to a point where I was actually unable to go out on nights out with friends because it looked bad and I felt bad. And anyway, to cut a very long story short, one particular night, I'll never forget, I went out on a night out and met a girl, got chatting to the girl, and I was on the date and I was scratching. And she said, what's wrong with you? Why are you scratching? I said, I've got eczema. And until that point, I felt like the conversation was going pretty well. And then slowly but surely over the next half an hour, she wasn't there. and she gave me a number. And then when I tried to text her, she didn't reply. And I took that really personally. And one of the things that came from that evening is I made the decision. I'm like, shit, what if my eczema was the reason why that girl didn't want to go out on the date with me? And from that moment, it gave me massive leverage. Because for me at that time, being a young boy, yeah, 26, 25, do the math. Going out and impressing girls was a big deal for me because I was single. And I knew that eventually I wanted to meet someone, I wanted to meet someone significant. And I knew that I probably wasn't going to do it if I was like scratching all night, right? So for me, it gave me massive leverage. And within about a year, I'd had allergy tests and really just, I'd cut out all the food that was bad for my skin and had effectively eradicated eczema. As you can see, I don't have scarring on my arms, which effectively is just because it was so bad. I literally just scratch myself to pieces, but I don't have that problem or challenge as much anymore anyway. And just have a tickly beard right now. So leverage, having a reason why is so important. In fact, there's a great saying here, which is, if your why doesn't make you cry, it's not your why. If your why doesn't make you cry, it's not your why. Now, I'm not saying you've got to sob your eyes out, but like your why should move you, right? It should move you. I have some pretty big whys around some of the goals that I've got this year. And one of the things I do every single day is I write my goals out. And I also write down at least 3 or 4 reasons why I want to achieve that goal. Behind me, you may see, this is what we call a battle board. I'm in our kitchen tonight and we have a battle board. This is magic whiteboard that runs all the way along here. And we've got goals and plans and dreams and things. We've got Satty's, we've got mine. We've got all kinds of plans on the wall, so you may be able to see some of them. And one of the reasons why I put them, knocking the camera over, one of the reasons why I filmed here is because I wanted to be fully transparent about the things that are doing here. Like, so, you know, this is just practicing what we preach. Some of the business goals I've got that are here. So it's so important. Like, I'm clear on all those things and why I want to achieve them. And it's really important that you're clear on why it is that you want to achieve the things you want to achieve. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do section 1. So this is the first part of the coaching that we're going to do. So what I want you to do, let me move that out of the way, is I want you to answer the question. And we're going to do an exercise. We're going to spend about 2 minutes on this. I'm literally going to go silent and I put some music on. And I want you to write down, even if this is something you go, Miles, I already know. then I still want you to write it down. I write my goals down twice a day. I'm a big believer that you get what you focus on. The reason why these things are here is because it reminds Sati and I to keep focus on our goals every single day. It reminds me to check in with myself on, am I doing everything I'm doing right now? In fact, let me grab something. This is one of my favorite quotes that I've got up in our house. It says, is what you're doing now taking you where you ultimately want to go? And that's like a trigger. I have these things all around the house. But it's so important that you write the things down that you want, that you have them somewhere where you can see them, because then you're way more likely to make them happen. So I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna put some music on. I want you to write down the #1 goal that you must achieve this year. And then what I want you to do, and this is the what we call 5 levels deep. This is where it gets a little bit tricky, and this is where this is something you may never have done before. I want you to come up with 5 reasons why that goal is so important. I want you to come up with 5 reasons why that goal is so important. So if we reflect back to my eczema story, for me, one of the deepest reason why I wanted to get rid of my eczema was because I want to meet a girl. I want to meet a great girl. I want to meet a girl that I can maybe settle down with and marry and have kids with. And I feel like I'm not going to be able to attract the one if I've got really bad eczema. And if I have really bad eczema, I'm going to go through my life maybe missing out on the one, which is going to mean I'm going to regret. And I'm going to feel really bad about myself because I missed out on, for me, what is one of the most important things in my life, which is love, right? I got a lump in my throat there as I said love. So, and I get emotional thinking about it because now with Sati, and she's the woman of my dreams, and I don't know if I would have been able to attract her had I not solved that issue, right? So important. Think about the #1 goal that you must achieve this year. Notice the word must is underlined. Then what I want you to do is I want you to write down the reason I want to achieve this goal is because, let's say it's a fitness goal. I want to lose 3 stone. The reason I want to achieve this goal is because I want to feel better about myself. And the reason that feeling better about myself is important to me is because I don't feel good right now. And the reason feeling good right now is important to me. So I want you to go as much as you can. Now you may go, Miles, I got stuck at 3. That's fine. But I want you to try and get to 5 reasons why the goal is important to you, because that will give you more motivation to make it happen. All right. So I'm going to put some music on and we're going to spend 2 minutes on this. Time starts now. Off you go. Remember, try and go for 5 reasons. Try and go for 5 reasons. Try and push yourself to come up with 5 reasons. Last 30 seconds, last 30 seconds. Alrighty. Okay, I'm assuming. Post in the chat. Let me know that you've got something down. You don't need to post what it is that you got down, but I'd love for you to just let me know that you have got a goal written down and you've got at least 3 or 4 reasons why that goal is so important to you. Okay, step 2, standard elevators. Step number 2 is what we call standard elevators. So, a great story. Usain Bolt, I watched an interview of his recently, and he was asked, the interviewer said, Usain, tell us what is something that helped you get to the level that you've got to, that is something that most people maybe don't know about you. And Usain said, well, when I was 14, my coach got me the opportunity to go down to the Olympic Stadium in Kingston, Jamaica, to race against the then fully grown men's Jamaican national team and have a race against them. And obviously he ran the race, he lost the race, he literally got whooped. But he said, coming off that day, he said he realized, he said, I knew that day that the difference that was going to make the difference between me getting to the level, getting to the top of my field, I wasn't going to do it by racing against 14-year-old boys. He said, I knew I had to race against fully grown men on a regular basis if I wanted to get to that level. And the rest is history, right? We all know the story of Usain Bolt breaking Olympic records. So Jack Canfield says you become like the people you spend the most time with. It's so important that you know that right now, the people that you spend the most time with are influencing you. If your goal is weight loss and you're spending time with people who don't have that as a standard and a priority, it will be harder for you. If they're family, I'm not saying you just stop spending time with your family, but I'm saying you need to upgrade your peer group. A lot of people get this confused and they think that I'm telling them that they should cut people out of their life. Well, if there's really negative people in your life, then, you know, I always say family, friends are the family that you choose, right? But what I am saying is that spend more, add more positivity in, add more ambitious people in, and you're more likely to raise your standards to the level that you want. This is a really good friend of mine. This is a guy called Dan Bradbury. Dan is a business coach. He's been a friend of mine and mentor for several years. Dan is the same age as me. Last year, his business turned over £10.6 million. My business is not in those numbers yet. But I tell you what, spending time with someone like that, who's the same age as me, really makes me realize what I need to do to raise my game. Because he and I came into the world the same, we will leave the world the same, small and wrinkly, old and wrinkly, hopefully, God willing. But what he's learned in between is a set of skills, a set of habits, a way of accelerating his learning that's got him to that 10 million bracket in a way that I haven't. So it's so important to know that you truly do become like the people you spend time with. So standard elevators. What I want you to do now is I want you to write down first point A, the people I need to spend more time with are. The people I need to spend more time with are, and if you can't think of specific people, maybe think of, let's say you go, you know, I want to grow my business. Cool. The people I need to spend more time with are people that already have a business at the level of revenue that I aspire to have. Yeah. Or the people I need to spend more time with, I want to lose weight, I want to be better in shape, is I need to, let's say you're a man or a woman that wants to lose weight. I need to spend time with people that are already in the physical health that I want to get to. And then point B is the people I need to consider spending less time with are, and I want you to answer that as well. So go ahead and do that now. Less time on this one. We're going to take about a minute on this one, so go ahead and fill that in right now. His coaching classes are secretly just a chance for me to have a dance. Okay, last 15 seconds. All right, time. So I'm just going to check the chat and just see what messages we've got coming in. Andy says done. Yevgeny says done. Sean says, I have some stuff down. Apologies, I can't seem to work out how to stop messaging privately. Don't worry, it's all good. It's all good. I'm seeing the messages coming in. Carla says done. Fantastic. Don't worry, it's all good. It is all good. Yes, 4 reasons, got 5 goals and reasons complete. Boom, loving this. Excellent, you're all making progress. Cool, okay, great. Let's move on. Next, step 3. We call this the cheat codes. The cheat codes. Growing up as a kid, I loved Super Mario. I love Sonic the Hedgehog as well, but I especially love Super Mario. And I'll never forget an experience with my big cousin, Carrie. Hey, Carrie, if you're watching, playing Super Mario, and he just seemed to just know how to just get to the end boss. if you don't know what end boss means, then it just means the bad guy at the end that you get to all the levels. I'm probably preaching to the choir here. You're probably like, Miles, we all know what the end boss means, but if you don't, it means he was really good at getting to the end boss and beating the end boss. And for me, it would take me like, I'd have to restart the console, throw the controller in a huff because I couldn't seem to beat the end boss. He was amazing at the end boss. So for me, what made me figure out how to beat the end boss in Super Mario was I just watched Carrie. I remember a period of time over one summer, sat next to him, literally like he had the controller in his hand, and I was like analyzing his fingers. Okay, he's pressing that then. Oh, he's pressing that button before that button. Literally analyzed his hand coordination. And as if by magic, within weeks, I was beating the end boss, and I was completing Mario. So you go, what's your point, Miles? My point is that in life, the fastest way for you to accelerate to the thing that you want is to model, or what I'm calling in this instance, cheat. Most of you probably won't like the term cheat because at school we're told that cheating is bad. But I'm here to tell you that cheat and model, what we're effectively talking about here is modeling. I just chose the word cheat. But modeling means finding someone who's already achieved the thing that you want to achieve. In that instance, it was my cousin Carrie. Learning to drive is modeling, right? When we get a driving instructor, we're effectively modeling a person who already is an expert at the things that we want to be an expert in, right? So the fastest way to succeed in life is to model. A friend, a very good friend of mine, a mentor, a guy called Andy Harrington, has trained me over the past few years in public speaking. And one of the things that I've learned from Andy, apart from, Miles, he really challenged me on putting up my prices in my private consulting that I do with gyms and health clubs. But he's really showed me the way in terms of how to speak and communicate in a way that's authentic and in a way that really moves people. And he's just phenomenal at that. And so for me, when I went, I want to become great at public speaking, I thought, you know what, rather than trying to figure it out, I'm just going to find the person who I perceive to be one of the best at that. And that happened to be Andy. And he, within 12 months of that, I was, just recently I ran an event, and we had, like I said, 12 people in the room, all paid £1,000 a seat. And that's as a result of his methodology. That's as a result of what I actually practicing what he's taught. It was incomprehensible to me to think just 4 or 5 years ago that I could make £12,000 in a single day. It was just ridiculous. To this day now, I think my mum thinks I'm a drug dealer. So it is crazy what you can do when you find the right person to model. And I'm sure if you think about driving, at one point you were like, so much to think about, right? But now you could get in a car and just drive without even thinking about it. And that's because you've done it so often and you modeled a person that was excellent in that thing. So what I want you to do now is I want you to think about, in the terms of the cheat codes, I want you to think about the people or persons I know who already have the result or cheat codes that I need are. So the people or persons I know who already have the result I want are. And the next part B, is for you to write down, my first step to obtaining the cheat code is. So I want you to write down the people or persons that I know who already have the result I want. So think of an area, think of your goal, somebody who already has the result you want. And your first step to obtaining their cheat code is, so I want you to spend 60 seconds on this one. Time starts now. Don't overthink it. Just write down the first thing that comes to mind. Okay, comment in the chat box. Let me know that you've got something down. Cool, great. Excellent. Good, good. Yeah, excellent. All righty, let's move on. Very good, very good. Okay, step 4, black belt habits. One of the key things that I'm a big believer in is habits over goals. What that effectively means is it's great to have a goal. It's great to have a goal. It's really important to have a goal. But if you don't have the habits lined up to do that, it's never going to happen, right? So for instance, I'm going to be fully transparent here. I'm going to be fully transparent. One of my goals this year is to be a #1 best-selling author on the personal development or coaching category on Amazon. Now, I have previously, in previous years, been very prolific with writing. As of yet, I haven't scheduled time in my diary to write. Well, it's actually refining, and it's an ebook that's got about 25,000 words. I want to turn it into a proper book. But the fact is, I haven't scheduled the time to write. So at this precise moment, it is highly unlikely that I'm going to achieve that goal because I haven't scheduled time on the diary every week, every day to write, right? So my point is, it's great to have that aspirational goal of #1 best-selling author on Amazon, but unless I'm actually writing, it's not going to happen. So it's so important that you know that the only way, like in karate, if we use that as an example, to get a black belt is to actually do karate, right? You know, if somebody says, "Oh yeah, I want to get a black belt," cool. How often do you do karate? Oh, you know, every now and again. It's like people that are getting black belts in karate aren't doing karate every now and again. It's a regular thing. It's a regular process. So what we want to talk about here is maybe what are some of the habits that you need to do that are going to help you accelerate your goal faster. So Aristotle says we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, it's a habit. I'm sure you've had it in your life, one of your areas where you're an expert in. Maybe someone at some point has said, how do you do that? Like, how on earth do you do that? I get people often say, how are you so comfortable on camera? And I go, because I've fucking done it a lot. like I've done it a lot. And they go, were you always good? I was like, no, I still don't think I'm great, but I used to be shit. Like I used to, look at my phone here. I used to walk down the road when Facebook Live first started, right? And I would walk down the road before Facebook Live started, and it was a pre-recorded video. I'd walk down the road, and if I saw somebody coming the other way, I would stop the video, wait until they walked past, and then I would look and see, I'd go, right, there's a man and his dog there. He's probably about 2 minutes from here, which means I can get a video in really quickly in 2 minutes. So I'd be like watching the camera and watching the guy in the back. Quick. Anyway, so my point is this, and I was really, really terrible, but carried on doing it. I carried on doing it. And now, again, not a brag, just a point, because it's the cumulative total of all the videos. I've had 250,000 views on all my videos. And they're not brilliant. They're 7 out of 10. But I just keep doing them. I'm in the studio recording 5 tomorrow. Like, I just keep doing video. So if there's an area of your life that you want to be good, make sure you got to schedule the time to do it. Ladies, calm yourselves. This is a good friend of mine, Zach Fotheringham. And he is an incredible personal trainer. And as you can see, he's chiseled to the max. And a few years ago, I made the decision that I too wanted to be chiseled to the max. And I seeked out Zach and his help, his training methods, but not specifically just to get a program, because I knew that that was not going to work, because I tried that. I wanted to spend some time with him and really get into the way that he thought and his standards and his habits. And I really figured out what he was doing different to me on a daily basis. And I looked at my habits, I looked at his habits, and was like, shit, if I want his result, kind of like the driving instructor, I need to do what Zach does, right? So as a result of applying some of the things that Zach did, I went from being not particularly overweight and not in anywhere near as good a shape as Zach is, but I made some drastic changes to my physical body as a result of applying some of the things that Zach taught me. So black belt habits, this is part 4. I've got one more part after this. So what I want you to do now is ask yourself the question and write these down. The habits I'm committed to doing more of are, and B is the habits I'm committed to doing less of are. 60 seconds, time starts now. "30 seconds left. What are the habits that you're committed to doing more of? And what are the habits that you're committed to doing less of?" This is like Top Gun music, isn't it? Who else is air guitaring? Come on, admit it. Tiny tripod air guitar. Oh, shouldn't have had that last coffee. Okay, let's see what we've got in the chat. Cool. Andy Coley says, just going back to the chat, modeling is how we learn before we get our logical brain involved in installation of beliefs, usually other people's. Love that. Love that. Anne says, do I need to know them personally? You mean the people to model for the cheat codes? No, not at all. I definitely didn't know Andy Harrington personally. I didn't know my driving instructor before before modeling him. Yes, it was a him. So no, definitely, I don't think you need to know them personally at all. Done. Excellent. Great. You're all doing this. I love it. Fantastic. Okay, let's move on for the benefit of time. Step 5, gold stars. Your last one of the evening, gold stars. Sati's a primary school teacher. My wife Sati's a primary school teacher. And one of the key things that she does with kids at her age group, she works with 4-year-olds, is gives them gold stars. You'll all have probably at some point got a gold star at school. And maybe you remember the feeling that you got when you got that gold star at school. Somebody's probably going to comment now and go, I didn't get a gold star. Either way, we all know that symbolically kids go crazy about gold stars up until a certain age because they have a association that means they've done well. And that feeling of doing well in the eyes of other people is something that we, to a detriment to some extent, carry into our adult life. So I'm a big believer that when you achieve what it is you want to achieve, you should reward yourself. I'm actually a big believer that you should reward yourself for progress. Tony Robbins says, I'm just going to keep quoting Tony tonight, aren't I? That progress equals happiness. Progress equals happiness. Even if you're not exactly where you want to be yet, but you're making progress, you're going to love it. So this tonight is a beta test for our coaching program. I will have a bit of a mini celebration after this. I might have a glass of wine after this. Who knows? Maybe I will. Either way, I'm going to celebrate because one of the things I've found is when I give myself a metaphorical gold star, I reward myself, not waiting for somebody else to reward me. What it does is it elevates my self-esteem and it makes me take more action. So when I reward myself, you know, I had a coaching client a few years ago and she was struggling with this reward thing. She's like, Miles, I don't want to buy myself things. And I said, no, that you're misinterpreting what I'm saying here. It doesn't have to be buying yourself. What would make you feel good right now? And she went, a hot bath. And I went, how about every time you do something that you're proud of, you reward yourself with a hot bath? And I said, but specifically, because you probably have hot baths all the time, I said, why don't you, is there some particular essential oils that you like? And she said, oh yeah, there's some quite pricey oils that I like. I said, well, why don't you buy the pricey oils, but only allow yourself to use the pricey oils when you feel like you're rewarding yourself, and your mind will kind of link that as you've achieved and done well, which will fire you on to want to do more. And I remember Diana did introduce that, and she still says to this day, I still remember you for that suggestion. So rewarding yourself is really important. Again, not a brag. This is just me and Sati. This is how we reward ourselves. We love to travel. We've got Barcelona here, Sagrada Familia. We've got Brooklyn Bridge, Santa Monica Pier, dolphins in Turkey, out in the ocean. Rome Colosseum, Las Vegas, where we got married, camels in Marrakesh. That's how we reward ourselves when we think about big rewards. We love to travel. So gold stars. What I want you to do for this last one is I want you to answer the question, the ways in which I'm going to start regularly rewarding my progress are. So the ways in which I'm going to start regularly rewarding my progress are. Write down as many as you can think of. Remember, holiday, bathtub with fancy bubbles. There's no limitations on this. Don't think you've got to spend loads of money, but this is just, what are some things that you could do? Buy yourself a fancy coffee, spend £12 on a bottle of red wine instead of £5, you naughty devil. What are some of the ways in which you can start regularly rewarding your progress? We're going to take just 45 seconds on this one. Time starts now if you go. Last 15 seconds. Okay, time. How do we do? How do we do? I'm curious to know how we got on. I'm just going to look in the chat and see what came up. What I also would suggest, Anne says, that's the easiest part for me. Love that, love that. Jamie says, I get most rewards internally when doing something for others. That's beautiful. That is wonderful. David says, actually feels harder than I thought it would be. Yeah, it's not easy, right? It's not easy if you're not used to rewarding yourself. Sarah says, got 6, all seems a bit expensive. Ed's gonna love you. Just had a coaching with Miles. He says I need to reward myself more. Can I use your credit card? Or Ruth says, this is an area of growth for me. Good on you, Ruth. Sean Moore says, was tough to think of rewards. I didn't want to use them to reverse progress. Yeah, I think that's a really important thing. If you feel, so like I had a conversation with Sati this morning about a trip, and there's a particular trip I want to go on, but I said to her, I don't feel like I deserve that trip yet. So for instance, we you know, full disclosure, we want to head out to Girona in Spain later this year because we're looking to move out there end of next year. And the levels of reward were, one was go out there for a week and just chill in a hotel. And the second was go out there for the full summer holidays and rent a villa. I don't feel like I deserve the 6-week villa yet, but I'm working towards it. So I haven't booked flights out there yet because I'm working towards potentially us getting to do the villa. So yeah, it is. For me, it's about levels of reward. That's why I say a bottle of wine or a hot bubble bath, if that works for you, can always work. Evgeny says you're always trying to save money, waiting for some better time and bigger income instead of rewarding yourself. Exactly. But like I said, the key thing here is it's not about spending money, right? It's really not about spending money. If you feel like you've had a really good, hard-working day and you've busted your ass till 3 p.m. and you go, oh, I could use a nap. And you go, I'll have a 20-minute nap. Put an eye mask on, put some beach waves on, have a nap. That's your reward, right? Like, it doesn't have to be money. It doesn't have to be money. Dana said, what camera mic device do you use for Zoom? Because you look so hot. She didn't say the last bit. I'm just adding that in. I'll message you, message me, Dana, on Facebook. I'll tell you everything I'm using. Thanks, Mars. It's been really thought-provoking. Scale the rewards, the progress, really awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Okay, brilliant. Well, that's effectively the coaching part of the session. So we're going to do a Q&A in a minute. I've got a few questions that have come in from people, and then I'm going to fire it over to you to ask me questions. But what I'm going to do now, with your permission, which I know that you've all said is fine, I'm just going to spend literally a couple of minutes just kind of going through and explaining how things are going to work beyond the beta part of this program. So so Miles Better Performance Coaching, which I've already kind of shared with you, the 12-month coaching program, 12 months of modules, a module each month. Month 1 is achievement, clarity. Month 3 is motivation. Month 4 is energy. Month 5 is psychology. Month 6 is relationships. Month 7 is we look at habits. Month 8 we look at productivity. Month 9 we look at influence. Month 10 we look at purpose. Month 11 we look at your confidence. Month 12 we look at planning. So every single month we have a brand new worksheet, we have a brand new session, and we deep dive like we're doing tonight to really help you become the best version of yourself. Jamie Selby, who's on the session, here's what Jamie says about the coaching. I recently said, that was bloody awesome. I was so busy focused on what I didn't want. I forgot about what I do want. life-changing stuff. Cannot wait for our next session. So excited. I will be who I want to be. I feel epic. Jamie's a legend. Thank you, Jamie. Love you, brother. So here's what's included, full disclosure. So group coaching live with me every single month, worth £7,997. So this session that we're doing right now, you're going to get a life coaching session for 90 minutes every single month. So you're going to get a group coaching session with me every single month. There are bigger levels, which I'm going to talk you through in a second. You're also going to get a brand new worksheet every single month. So every single month, you're going to get a brand new worksheet, like the worksheet that you got tonight. What that means is you're eventually going to be able to put everything in a folder and look back on everything. So, you know, if a family member's saying, hey, what are you doing? Like, you seem healthy, you seem happy, you seem like you got more energy. You can say, yeah, it's my amazing lifestyle coach, Miles. Cool, what does he teach you? What do you work on? And you're not going to go, I'm not really sure. You can literally go through and show everything. So those worksheets are valued. I value them at £1,788. There is a higher tier of membership, which I'm going to share with you what the tiers are in a second, which you're going to have daily accountability check-ins. So if you're a person that goes, I love this coaching, but what I really need is someone to hold me accountable to make sure that everything that I'm learning on these sessions, I'm actually taking massive action every single day. I need somebody to hold my hand and make sure I'm following the habits. I need somewhere where I can post and say, this is the amount of workouts that I'm doing this week. This is what I'm going to do. This is how much writing I'm going to do. If you feel like you need that extra support, 7 days a week, there is daily accountability check-ins worth £2,997. There is also the opportunity to have one-on-one coaching with me every single month. That's a 30-minute coaching session with me once a month. That's worth £15,997. If you're a person that says, I love these group coaching sessions, but I also feel like I have some personal issues and challenges that I need deep work and coaching on, and I feel like this group dialogue is good, but I really need to talk about this one-to-one, then there is the opportunity for you to have one-to-one coaching with me as well. Client Resh said about the coaching, he says, there's so many moving and ever-changing components to life, things can get overwhelming. Our sessions have helped me understand my emotions, make sense of situations, and most importantly, find a route forward. Hey, Resh, I'm honored, man. It's great to coach you. We're also going to give you, for those of you that go with the higher level, live in-person workshops every 90 days. So every 90 days, we're going to get together in a cool location and we're going to do a workshop. 1 month we may be at the coast in Bournemouth, then we may be in Brighton, then we may be in Birmingham because it's close to my house. But either way, we're going to pick really cool locations to work at, and we're basically going to do a live in-person lifestyle performance mastermind every 3 months. So if you're the kind of person that goes, not only do I want to be coached, but I also want to have that face-to-face contact. I want to meet more like-minded people that are also in this program that are looking to elevate themselves and their performance, then that's going to be in the additional level worth £11,997. So total value of all of that combined is £40,775. Full disclosure, if you join the program, when you join the program, you can cancel any time. So you go, Mars, is this a commitment? Have I got to join for 12 months? Have I got to stay in for the whole year? No, you can cancel anytime you like. It's a pay-as-you-go coaching membership. Just so you know as well, £1 of every subscription, every single month, goes to Medical Relief International. £1, I'm just going to check the chat box, check that everyone can still hear me okay. £1 of every membership, every single month, goes towards Medical Relief International, which is really important to me. So £1 of every membership goes to Medical Relief International every single month, not just the first month, every single month. There is an early bird discount, which I'm going to go through with you. So here is how it looks. Miles Better Performance Coaching. So the first level, which is the group level, this is where you're going to get one 90-minute group coaching session a month. You're also going to get the session worksheets and homework. You can cancel any time and you can get the session recordings. It's normally £49. The early bird rate, I'll talk to you about how that works and how many people can get that in a second, is £29. Group Plus is all of the above, but the difference is, which is probably the thing that makes that even more powerful, is you get the daily accountability check-ins. So if you feel like you need the daily check-in, okay, this is, Carla goes, this is what I said I'm going to do. post in the morning, and then I'm on your case privately commenting to what you said you're going to. Did you do what you said you're going to do? Why didn't you? Literally on your case every single day to make sure you follow through 100% of the time. If you need that daily coaching from me, then that is £59, normally £79. Again, cancel anytime. And the group plus coaching one-on-one with me once a month plus the mastermind includes all of the above, the 90-minute group coaching session, the worksheets, the homework, the accountability check-ins, and also a 30-minute one-to-one with me a month, the quarterly live workshop, session recordings, and you can cancel anytime as well. That's normally £399 a month, but for the early birds, that will be just £199. So that is it in a nutshell. So this is something I thought I'd throw in there just in case you're thinking about the cost, because a lot of people will be thinking, you know, oh, can I afford it? Can I justify it? £29 a month buys you a mobile phone contract. £59 a month buys you Sky TV. £199 a month buys you dinner for 4 out 4 times in a month. So if you're thinking about what it's going to cost you, then maybe think about what you're maybe spending at the moment that's maybe not going to bring you in as great a personal return on investment as this will bring in for you. What I'm going to do this is kind of the bonus that I'm going to do, is for the first 50 people that enroll, and I did mention there's 364 people that when I said, hey, who wants to beta test this program, 364 people are on the email list. The first 50, so this will go within the week. The first 50 that enroll at whichever level, so whether it's 29 level, 59 level, or 199 level, doesn't matter which level you do, the first 50 people are going to get a 30-minute one-to-one with me worth $997. So this month in March, the first 50 people, so if you want to do that, I'm going to give you the link to do it in a second, are going to get a 30-minute one-to-one with me, whichever level that you choose. So if you choose the 199 level, then you'll get 2 one-to-ones with me, because you'll be starting paying in April, but you'll be getting a one-to-one with me in March as well. Here's what Steph said. Steph is a client. Steph said, Mars, thank you so much for the call just now. I feel like I have so many ideas and so excited to put them into action. You make something that felt quite overwhelming very simple and easy to implement. My weekend is going to be full of brainstorming, so thank you for the motivation. And that's a coaching client, Steph. So here is all what you need to do. So all you got to do is go to milesmoremotivation.com. That's milesmoremotivation.com. First 50 people, whichever level that you choose, are going to get the one-to-one with me worth £1,000 in March. So whichever level you choose, go now. So what I would do is I'd keep this running, but open a new browser, go to milesmoremotivation.com, scroll midway, I think midway down the page, there are 3 buttons. So there's a button for each particular membership option. So click on the button for the option that you want to choose. It sets you up a direct debit, but you can cancel that direct debit anytime you like. So go now to milesmoremotivation.com, keep this open, so stay on the session because we're going to do the Q&A in a second, but open your browser, go to milesmoremotivation.com, first 50 people only, there's 364 people on the list, there are 37 people on the session tonight, but this will go out as a recording, so this first 50 people will go within the next few days. Questions that some people ask is, how do I know this is right for me? Well, I always say the best way to make a decision is to go with your gut. Most people make decisions by their brain, and the best way to make a decision is with your gut. What that means is your brain is probably telling you right now, I need to think about it. I'm not sure if it's for me. It may be telling you to just go for it. But what I'm here to tell you is that your gut always knows what's right for you. So if your gut is telling you right now, I need this and I want it, then go to milesmoremotivation.com, get yourself enrolled. You've got nothing to lose. It's cancel anytime. How do I know it'll work for me? Well, you don't know it'll work for you. Like, there are no guarantees in life. Here's what I do know. If you do the work, you will grow and improve. You've seen the testimonies from my clients. If you do the work, you will grow and improve. There are no guarantees in life, but if you do the work, you will make progress. How can I be certain I'll get my money's worth? Well, we've already compared it to mobile phones, dinners out, and Sky TV. Those things are nice to haves, but they're not necessities. I'm assuming the fact that you're here means you're invested in improving yourself and developing yourself. So if you're going to be here for this session, then make that next step and commit, and at least make that first month so that you can start to make progress. What if now isn't the right time? Look, life is short. Like, there are no guarantees in life. Kobe Bryant, he's on my watch. Kobe Bryant tragically lost he lost his life. His 14-year-old daughter died recently as well. Now I'm not telling you may be going, but Miles, I'm not in a helicopter over California, but tragedies happen all the time. I'm here to tell you, if you are here, then you clearly want to change or improve something in your life. So I'm telling you, make that decision. Go with your gut. If your gut's telling you to do it, go to milesmoremotivation.com, get yourself enrolled. I'm not sure I can afford it. £29 a month is the lowest level. If that's all you can afford, get yourself on that level. You can always upgrade at a later date. But I'm telling you, if you at the very least want to make sure that you implement what you learn, get yourself on the £59 level at the very least. But you are going to get the best results from the one-on-one coaching, as you've seen from some of the people that have had that experience with me. So first 50, there's 364 people on the list. Go now, open another tab, milesmoremotivation.com, get yourself enrolled, click on the button and get yourself joined up. So, like I said, the bonus for the first 50 people, you're going to get a 30-minute one-to-one with me worth $997. So you're going to get first 50 people are going to get a 30-minute one-to-one with me worth $997. Okay, so let's do a bit of a Q&A now. That's enough of me pitching to you. So I would like for you to post your questions in the comments. I have got some questions here, but if you've got questions as well, then post your questions. Chloe says, does the early bird discount last for the duration of the coaching, or is it just for the first session? Very good question. Chloe has joined. Congratulations, Chloe. Thank you for joining us. So the early bird discount is for the entirety of your membership. So if I'm still coaching you 3 years from now, and you're in the 59 level, the 29 level, the 1999, 199 level, you will never have a price increase. The price will never increase. Never increase. Even if I'm charging thousands per session, if you enroll at this rate, the price will never increase. You have my word, this session is recorded, right? I think it is, let's hope it is. Whew, relief, it is recording. So the price will never increase. So pop your questions in the chat box. I have some questions that people have shared, so I'm going to share with you. Susan has said, what is your best daily habit? My best daily habit, Susan, is exercise first thing in the morning. I know a lot of people will go to the gym after work. A lot of people work out in the afternoon. For me, the reason why I like to work out first in the morning is it just sets my mood up for the day. For me, it's crucial to work out first thing in the morning. You may say, I don't have the time to go to the gym. That's cool. Maybe get yourself an app like Beachbody. I do yoga with Adrienne on YouTube. That's yoga with Adrienne. Highly recommend her. Exercise first thing in the morning is my best daily habit. Paula said, what ways can I make myself feel good because I get down often? Okay, I'm sorry to hear that, Paula. I'm going to share with you something that's a little bit outside the box. So a few years ago, a friend of mine who told me he was getting depressed, we talked about habits. And I said, what are some of the habits that you have done in the past that make you feel good that you haven't been doing for a while? And he said, I haven't been working out. Okay, cool. So that needs to happen. Clue. What else? He said, well, I love watching funny TV shows. I said, are you doing that now? And he said, no. I said, cool. Well, maybe it's a good idea to start watching something funny again. He said, oh, I just don't have the time. Okay, you don't have the time to make yourself feel good, then what is it emotionally costing you by you not doing this? He said, well, I don't feel good. I said, so we really dug into the why, and we established that he was making excuses for not wanting to sit down and watch funny TV shows. So I said, how about just clips on YouTube, a few minutes on your way to work, because he gets the train to work. And he started reintroducing the clips, and he started working out again, and he started immediately feeling better about himself. And he messaged me and said, hey, who'd have thought just watching clips on YouTube makes me feel good? And so that's my answer to you, Paula, is for me, one of the things I do in the morning, I work out, I journal what I'm grateful for, I pray, I have a conversation with God, very spiritual stuff. But one of the things I do, there's a group of comedians that I love called the Tenderloins. They've got a show called Impractical Jokers, if you're familiar with that. And I watch 2 or 3 minute clips of them in the morning, first thing in the morning, 5:30, and I'm laughing. Like sometimes Saturday's like, you're gonna wake Sage, right? So watching something funny That'd be my suggestion. Marcus said, how do you plan your day? I struggle to fit everything in. I do use Google Calendar. I plan pretty meticulously. I had a mentor of mine several years ago, and I got to spend time with his PA, and she showed me how she planned his day because he was all over the place. And I went, well, if I want to get to his level, I better plan my day like him. So we are going to be talking in future sessions about scheduling, but I use Google Calendar to plan my day. And all the things that are important to me are in blocks of time. So I make sure I plan, like it says on my Google Calendar, gym 6 till 7:15, and it's a recurring activity on that calendar every single day. Trey said, when did you first get a coach? I first got a coach, Trey, about 15 years ago, a lady called Nicola, and it was a brilliant experience. The way that she coached me, she really helped me see some of the old challenges that I'd had. You know, growing up without a father, the self-doubt that brought, she really helped me see that and detach myself emotionally from it, and also see how I could not change the past, but change my interpretation of the past. And that for me is one of the best things about coaching, is being able to change the meaning that maybe you have right now that's not so positive. Okay, so we've got some, we've just skipped ahead there. We go back. There we go. We've got some questions that have come in, so I'm going to try and answer these rapid fire. What advice would you, I think Chloe said, what advice would you for getting my self-discipline back? Well, you've joined this program, so that is a big thing. I'm going to be on your case, keeping you motivated as we move forward. Sean Moore says, joined. I'm honored, Sean. Sarah says, how do you set boundaries around time regarding work? You said you work 6 days a month, so maybe that's 12 hours a week. How do you set when you work, and how do you then stick to it without dipping in and out? I have a very good dictator in my wife who's very clear with me about boundaries. And also, Sarah, I've got this really key thing for me, which is I want to be really present with whatever I'm doing. So if I'm going to be doing work, I'm going to be fully present with work. If I'm going to be with Sati, I'll be fully present with Sati. Because as far as I'm concerned, if I'm fully present with work, but then don't give Sati the same level of presence, what am I doing it for, right? So I think you've really got to think about being present with everything that you're doing, but only focusing on one thing at a time. So it's not easy. It's not an easy question to answer. Forgive me that that's not like a do this and you'll get this result. But I think compartmentalizing your life as best as you can would be what's really key. Sometimes if I've had a stressful day or some challenges come in that's caused me some stress, before I get home, I'll pull up in the estate and I'll meditate for about 5 minutes in the car and then drive into the house. And I'll ask myself the question, how do I want to be when I go into the house? What kind of state do I want to show up in? What kind of level of presence do I want to show Sati when I go into the house? And I find that puts me into the appropriate state to switch out of work and into husband mode. Hope that's helpful. Carla says joined. Awesome, fantastic, brilliant. David says I'm in. I'm sure it'll be grading soon. Amazing, fantastic. Any other questions before we dive off the session? Are there any other questions before we dive off the session? If there are not, if you've got other questions, you can feel free to, obviously you can feel free to message me. Just a reminder, the next beta session, remember this is a completely different session. You are testing this program for me. So even though you've joined, you're still getting this beta session. This will be a proper standalone session by itself, Wednesday, March the 18th. So make sure you've got that in the diary as well. Don't be thinking, is it just gonna be a repeat of tonight? No, it's a completely different session. On that session, we're gonna be specifically going through what we call the achievement indicator evaluation. So we're going to be going through what I call my achievement indicator evaluation. And we'll be rating all your areas on a scale of 1 to 10 and looking at what needs to happen for you to improve in each particular area. So if you haven't already, remember they're the early bird rates, £29 for the group level, normally going to be 49. Group plus is 59, normally 79. Group plus miles plus mastermind is 199. Cancel any time, but they are the rates. Remember, 30-minute one-to-one, with me for the first 50 people. There are 364 people, as I said, on the list. So get joined now. Go with your gut instinct. Even if it's just the £29 level. If you're like, oh, I want to do the 199, but I'm not sure I can afford it, just get in at 59 so that you know that you've got your place. Or you're like, oh, I want to do the 59, but I don't know if I can afford it. Get in at the 29. Just get in, and then you're in, and then you've got your spot. So that's it. That's all, folks. That is the end of the session. I hope you have enjoyed it. Like I said, first 50 only get the one-to-one with me. There's 364 people at the time of writing this list. This is getting, the recording is getting emailed out tomorrow. You guys that are on here live have got first dibs. So get yourself booked on. If not now, when? Now is the time for you to change your life. Now is the time for you to get more motivation. Now is the time for you to grow and go to your next level. I hope you've enjoyed this session. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Peace out. She told me